If you're in California right now, scrolling through Zillow for homes in New Mexico or Texas or anywhere cheaper, this video is for you. I had a call last week from a couple from San Diego. Their plan sounded perfect. Sell their house, their 1,200 square foot condo for $850,000. Buy themselves a 2,500 square foot home here in Las Cruces for about $425,000. Pocket the difference. And in their words, basically retire early on the savings, right? On paper, beautiful. In reality, they're about to get a financial education. I'm not here to talk you out of moving to Las Cruces. I've lived here for over 30 years and I genuinely love it. But I'm also not going to let you show up thinking you've unlocked some magical cost of living. So let's do a relocation reality check and talk about what nobody tells you about that California to New Mexico money math. Stay till the end because I will walk you through exactly how to reality test your budget before you even make this move. All right, let's start with the part everyone loves to talk about, which is housing. Yes, the housing savings here are real. The part is not a myth. Here in the area like Sonoma Ranch, around 400,000 can get you that 2,500 plus square foot home in a very nice neighborhood, maybe mountain views. Sometimes you can even get a pool for that. In a lot of California markets, that same price, our homes are cheaper. Yes. So if you're looking at your California equity and thinking we can buy in cash and still have money left over, you're not wrong. That is one of the biggest advantages of moving here. But here's a trap. People mentally take that housing win and apply it to everything else. They assume if my house is half the price, my whole life will be half the price. And that's where things start to go off the rails. Housing is one piece, a big piece, yes, but it's not your entire cost. And if you only run the housing math, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Now, let's get into the lifestyle, starting with groceries, because this trips a lot of people up. If you're from California, you might be used to having everything within 10 to 15 minutes. Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Costco, Sprouts, specialty ethnic markets, all stacked in the same commercial area. Las Cruces is not that. And here's what we do have. We do have a Sprouts, yes. We do have a natural grocers. So if you care about organic produce or some specialty health food items, you can get them there. We do not have Trader Joe's in Las Cruces. We do not have a Whole Foods here in town either. So you would find yourself traveling down to El Paso. Now, most people say, that's fine, I'll adjust. I don't really need a Trader Joe's, and some people absolutely do. No problem. But here's what I've watched over and over. Month 1 and 2. We'll just do one big run to El Paso once in a while and stock up. Month 3 through 6. Well, since we're going to El Paso for Costco already, we might as well hit Trader Joe's. Month 6 and beyond. Between El Paso runs and online ordering, you're spending more time and money chasing the shopping experience you're used to, and savings you expected to start shrinking, and they're actually getting bigger. And this isn't about being picky or being bougie. It's about being honest with how you actually live and what you're willing to give up. If you're used to the wide variety of specialty foods, international ingredients, vegan, organic, gluten-free options, you'll either end up compromising and switching to what's available locally, or you are going to spend the extra money and time getting what you're used to from somewhere else. And this doesn't stop at groceries. This is home goods, clothing, pet supplies, niche products. Selection here is more limited than a big California metro. Honestly, anywhere. You don't have to see that as a bad thing. You just need to see it as part of the real cost of your lifestyle. I swear, it is the nicest store that we have close by. I don't like to online shop for clothes, so that's where I go. If I go to El Paso, I might make the mall, but more than likely not. And to me, I just got introduced to Trader Joe's not so long ago, so for me, it's a treat, but I don't need it. But are there other things that I'd like to go to Paso? Yes, absolutely. But I'm willing to make that trade. Let's go a little beyond the groceries and look at your broader lifestyle. Think about your life in California. That higher end gym with eucalyptus towels and 10 different class options a day, they don't exist here. The endless restaurant choices, new places opening up all the time, and cuisines from everywhere, they really don't exist here either. The wine bars, live music venues, boutique shops, specialty fitness studios, climbing gyms, boxing studios, bar, Pilates, all within reach, but they're still not really here in Las Cruces, okay? We have great gyms. Las Cruces is a city of about 100,000 people, not a California metro area. So we do have solid locally owned restaurants. We have breweries and some good bars. I mean, they don't close very late. Our local gyms have some really nice fitness options. We have great yoga studios. We have some Pilates studios. But it's not the life that you might be used to if you're coming from a bigger metro area. We have a farmer's market. We do a lot of local events. And we have a growing arts and music scene currently. But it's not the same scale as San Diego or LA or San Francisco. You do not have 100 of options at every category. Like, we have a minimal, but we love them. So if regular fine dining, that constant novelty of a very specific type of trendy fitness is an experience, is a big part of your identity, you have limited choices. And you can adjust your expectations and embrace what is here. Spend a little bit more money traveling to El Paso or Albuquerque or Phoenix to get that fix. The people who are happiest after relocating are the ones who say, okay, I'm not going to recreate my old life here. I'm going to build a new one that fits this place. So if you try to live a California lifestyle in a New Mexico city, you'll either blow your budget trying, or you'll be miserable that it doesn't exist. Let's talk about something I see a lot, the I'll just drive to El Paso mindset. El Paso has a lot of that Las Cruces doesn't. They have a Costco, a Trader Joe's, a Whole Foods, bigger malls, more national chains. They have better medical facilities, a larger airport. So that is a great default plan. The no big deal, we'll just drive to El Paso. When we need something, here's what it actually looks like in real life. It's 45 minutes each way. You have a gas costs, which add up fast if you're going a couple of times a month. Extra wear and tear on your vehicle. Meals, coffees, impulse purchasing while you're there. Now multiply that by 12 months. That's not free. That's recurring cost in dollars and your time. And this is what I mean by the hidden El Paso tax. It's not a bill, but it hits the budget and your lifestyle more than you think. Now, if you're one of the people keeping your California job and salary while you're living in New Mexico, you're in a very strong position. But there are still a few things you need to know. First, some companies are now adjusting to remote salaries for cost of living. So if your plan revolves around, I'll earn a California paycheck and spend New Mexico money, make sure your employer actually allows that long term. Second, taxes get tricky with remote work depending on your situation. California may still want a piece of your income. New Mexico will tax you as a resident. So if you don't set it up correctly, you can end up with a nasty surprise at tax time. Again, this is not something to guess at. You want a tax professional who understands multi-state situations and can tell you exactly how you will work for you. Third, if you're planning to move a bit outside of town to get more land for less, check the internet situation before you fall in love with a property. You do not want to close on your dream home and then realize your Zoom calls drop every 10 minutes. I think we have, Xfinity is probably the biggest that we have here. That's another monthly cost that you will need to plan for. Other costs that people forget about are Healthcare. Most basic medical needs are covered locally, but for certain specialty or major procedures, you need to find yourself going to El Paso or Albuquerque. And that's more time and more travel and sometimes more out-of-pocket costs. Auto and home insurance can be different from where you're used to in California. Sometimes it's better, actually. Sometimes it's not as big as savings as you expect. Get real quotes before you move here. Don't assume anything. Crime and safety. Every city has good areas and rough areas. Don't rely on headlines or stereotypes about New Mexico. Come visit, drive the neighborhoods at different times of the day, and get a realistic feel for where you'd actually live and how you would feel there. None of these are deal breakers. They're just a part of having a complete grown-up picture of what life would actually be like here. So, what does all of this mean for your wallet? Here's my honest advice. Take whatever cost of living calculator you used and add 20 to 30% back to your monthly expenses for everything except housing. Your housing costs, yes, those can drop dramatically, but your overall life, it's probably not going to be 50% cheaper like your home. It might be 20 to 30% cheaper if you're intentional and you adapt to this lifestyle. Before you move, sit down and run your real numbers. What do you actually spend on groceries? And how much of that depends on specific stores and brands? How often do you eat out? And what is your true monthly restaurant and spending habit? What do you pay for fitness, hobbies, kids' activities, entertainment? How much are you spending on gas? And is El Paso going to become a regular thing for you? What will your actual tax picture look once you factor in your income, your retirement, and 2 different states' rules if you are doing the remote jobs? Do this exercise before you cling to the idea that you can basically retire early just by changing your zip code. Now, let me be clear. I'm not here to kill your dream. Las Cruces is a great place to live. If you come here with realistic expectations, the housing savings are real and can be life-changing. The pace of life is slower. We get about 300 days of sunshine a year. If you love the outdoors, if you love hiking and biking and mountain views in your backyard, this is hard to beat. I mean, right now, we're in February. While everybody's having blizzards, we are in 75-degree weather. Okay, so there's so much good to say about New Mexico. So if you're seriously considering moving from California to Las Cruces, let's talk about the actual numbers. I've helped a lot of California folks who make this move successful, and the ones who end up the happiest are the ones who did the homework up front. If you want a realistic breakdown of what your life here would actually cost, introduction to local pros, tax advisors who know both states, insurance agents who can give you real numbers, lenders who understand the moves, reach out. I would love to help you. I'll help you pressure test your plan before you commit, because my job is not to sell you a house. My job is to make sure that you buy one here and that you're still happy with that decision 5 years from now. If this video was helpful, hit like, subscribe for more honest conversations about life and real estate here in Las Cruces. And drop any questions and comments. I do read them, and a lot of my videos come directly from what I get asked.